As COVID-19 continues to wreak havoc around the world, especially with renewed lockdowns in China, Australian company Firebrick Pharma is beginning a Phase 2 clinical trial in South Africa for its Nasodine nasal spray product for the management of COVID-19. Firebrick Pharma Executive Chairman Dr. Peter Molloy joins me now. Dr. Molloy, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Now, what exactly is involved in Phase 2 clinical trial of Nasodine in South Africa?
It's very important when you're using a product that physically is used early in the symptom pathway, it needs to be, to eliminate the viruses to have an impact. You need to get the patients very early into the trial. So what we're doing is recruiting what we call index cases at various clinical sites. And we're using 5 sites in South Africa to recruit people who have symptoms of COVID and prove to be rat positive. If they've got those 2 things and meet our other inclusion criteria, they can join the trial. And the primary thing that we're measuring in this trial is whether or not 20 doses, which for the common cold is taken over 5 days, whether 20 doses over 2.5 days, spanning 3 days, will lead to a significant reduction in viral shedding and potentially the elimination of the virus from the upper respiratory tract. In other words, essentially eliminating the infection from the body, at least from the upper respiratory tract. That would be a very significant outcome if that occurs.
You now have the first patient recruited for this trial. If the trial is to be completed by August, what's next in the process for Nasodine in treating COVID-19?
Where we go with COVID and future pandemic viral diseases really depends on the results of this study. So you have to take clinical trials in a sequential fashion and look at the results and then plan your next study. It could be that the results will be so promising from the COVID Phase 2 trial that we'll want to do a Phase 3 trial in COVID, in some aspect of COVID, assuming there are still COVID patients available, and maybe take that to registration and seek approval from the regulatory authorities like the TGA and the FDA for that indication as an add-on indication to the common cold. So it's a sequence like that. You go to market with one indication, in our case, the common cold, and then over time you seek to add other indications, in this case, potentially COVID-19.
Now, with regards to the common cold, just how close are you to the commercialisation of Nasodine?
We're actually very close. We're really a pre-commercial pharmaceutical business. We've completed 1 Phase 3 clinical trial already, and we're undertaking a second Phase 3 clinical trial this year. And that should be enough to get us approved virtually anywhere in the world. I think it'd be realistic to say that in 3 or 4 years, we'll see Nasodine on the shelves in most countries in the world.
And how much of a game changer is Nasodine, and what will it mean for global cold and flu seasons?
I think it's a massive game changer for people who suffer colds. This is a disease that causes more overall suffering and morbidity than virtually any other problem that we face. So for cold sufferers, it could lead to their being able to go back to work faster, or not missing school, or just having less suffering due to a cold, because the primary indication we're pursuing is reduction in overall cold severity. But I think where it's going to have unexpected benefits is with healthcare workers. Doctors in particular, from surveys we've done, are very keen to see this product on the market because it represents the first product ever that has targeted the viral cause of colds. And that's a breakthrough. And it gives doctors something in their armamentarium that they can give to patients who come in with colds, instead of writing antibiotics, which unfortunately still occurs, and we know that antibiotics do nothing for viral diseases. So this could potentially contribute to a reduction in antibiotic resistance worldwide. That's a very important thing to chase as an objective.
Dr. Peter Molloy, we very much look forward to following the progress of Nasodine through the upcoming trials and hopefully onto the shelves of pharmacies around the world in the very near future. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Grady. Bye-bye.